hope that you're doing great. I'm back today with a video that hopefully will help some of you, because if you're anything like me, sometimes I start my workday and I feel completely overwhelmed and stressed out, and I feel like decluttering your digital life is something that will really help you to feel less anxious and more productive in general. So today I'm going to share all my tips. I have a full-on 2-page spread in my bullet journal with the tips. It's divided into computer, emails, phone and social media, but you don't have to sit down and take notes, because I will have a very handy PDF on my blog with little checkbox, which are just the best thing to tick at the end of the day, so that you can fully enjoy the video. And I will also link a couple of videos on the same subject by YouTubers that I really like, and I used all of their advice, so I will link that in the description box on YouTube and on my blog as well. So we'll get started, because we have a lot to go through, but I feel like these tips have really helped me to feel more calm and more productive in general. So let's start with your computer, because your computer, if you're like me, you spend all your day behind your screen, and having a clean, organized laptop or just computer in general is really gonna help you. So the first tip that I have is to organize everything within folders, within folders, within folders. So the way I do it is that I divide everything into areas of my life. So I have about, I would say 6 or 7 big folders, which are like personal, work, my company with my husband, natural company, YouTube videos, blog, all that kind of stuff. So those are like the main topics, the main folders. And then within these folders, I will have so many subfolders, and that really helps me to get super organized. So if you go into my personal folder, you will have medical stuff, you will have travel stuff, you will have legal documents, you will have all kind of stuff like that. And then within these folders, everything is going to be subdivided as well. So if you go into medical, I have like medical bills, and then I will have prescriptions, and then I will have surgeries and all of that. If you're going to travel, I will have my travel insurance info, I will have my passport info, I will have past itineraries for trips, all that kind of things. And I feel like sometimes we're scared to do too many folders, but really it has helped me so much. The next tip that I have is to avoid something that probably happened to you a few times in the past. Have you ever lost photos or documents that were really close to your heart? Because I have countless times. So nowadays what I do is that I do backups. I'm currently looking at my iMac, which is just next to the camera on the tripod, and I have 3 hard drives that are plugged in at all times. That's where I store my photos on one, my blog content on another one, and my YouTube content on the third one. So I always do backups of everything, and then everything that is crucial, really important, really like my legal stuff and my accounting stuff, everything is saved on my Dropbox account, because I need to access those files from any computer, any device, everywhere in the world. My husband needs access to a lot of stuff as well. So I have a Dropbox account, I have a premium one, so I pay for it, but I have, I believe, 2 terabytes of storage in there, so it's basically a cloud. And in there I store my recent photos and videos, I store all the accounting for our company, I store all the photos for our company as well. I have some videos on there. I have a lot of stuff that are really crucial for me that I cannot lose. Another thing that's gonna really help you is to clean your downloads, because if you're like me, you have your download folder filled with stuff that you downloaded, you forgot about it, you re-downloaded it. So I have 2 or 3 times the same thing, and then sometimes I have things that I needed that day that I don't need anymore. So I just throw that in the bin, and all the rest gets into the correct folder. And it really helps to have a clean download folder, so that when you download something, you don't have to scroll through to find it. Another thing that really helps me is to have a clean desktop. I used to be the kind of person that had a crowded desktop with photos, video, document, notes, all that kind of stuff. I don't anymore. I keep the stuff that is on my desktop is stuff that I need to get to that day or the next day. So if I'm working on an article for the blog, I will have the photos and then the social media stuff, and then once it's done, I will delete everything that I don't need, and I will organize all the rest into folders. That is the best thing, because when I turn my computer on in the morning, I have a clean beautiful wallpaper looking at me with just a handful of things that I need to get to. I try to stick to around 3 or 4. Sometimes I have nothing on my desktop, and that is the best feeling in the world. You also want to get rid of apps that you don't use anymore. I recently did that on my iMac and I thought it was good, but I had about 5 apps that I don't use anymore, so I just threw them in the trash. And I did the same with my folders and my notes. I had a look like, do I really need this presentation that I did for work 7 years ago? I don't. Do I need my grocery list from 3 weeks ago? I don't. So I deleted all that stuff. And I deleted everything off my bin as well. I emptied the bin at the end, and that freed up so much space, and my computer is running smoothly ever since I've done that. So the next thing is, especially for bloggers, YouTubers, or the ones of you that take a lot of photos, it is to empty your SD cards. I used to be so bad about doing that, and I would sit down to film and I would have SD cards full of photos and video that I wasn't sure I was backing up properly, so I would put them on my computer and just make sure that everything was saved, and I would lose so much time. So now once a week, it is something that you can totally do once a month if you don't shoot as much content as I do. I just slot my SD card into my computer, I back up everything into Photos and Lightroom, I do a backup on my hard drive, and then I just format my SD cards. So nowadays, whenever I want to film, I just need to turn the camera on, sit down, and I'm ready to go. So that's it for the computer. Now we are going to move to a tricky subject for a lot of you. It is your email inbox. A lot of my friends and my husband are the kind of people that can have like 748 emails that are not read in their inbox. I cannot function like that. I need to get to inbox 0 at least once a week. I love going into my mailbox and seeing just a handful of emails that I need to get to, but otherwise everything is clean, it's organized, and I'm on top of my inbox game. So a few tips. The first one, and you're not gonna like this one, but it's very necessary and it's very good to do, it is to unsubscribe from all those newsletters that you're getting that are making you spend money on things that you don't need, that are just taking up storage space in your email account. So what I would suggest is that over a week, because those things are usually daily or weekly, over the course of 1 week, let them all come into your inbox and don't deal with them. And then on a Sunday, take maybe 1 hour or 30 minutes, depending on the amount that you get, to go through all of these and just unsubscribe from all the ones that you don't need. If you get an email every time someone tags you on Facebook, delete that, unsubscribe from that. You don't need that because you get the notification in your app anyway. If you get newsletter for shopping websites that you don't really like or that you're spending too much money on, unsubscribe. If you get like daily emails from your news website that you check anyway without having to use the email, unsubscribe. I swear this is the best thing. There used to be a website that we could access from Europe, now we don't anymore because of the GDPR rules, but I believe you can still access it from the US and other countries. That was called Unroll Me. That was great because it would connect to your inbox and just boom, you will have the list of everything that you're subscribed to. So sorry if things moved a little, I feel like they have because my battery pack was low, so I had to change the battery, and hopefully I'm still in the same setup. But what I was talking about is that if you are a blogger or a YouTuber or an influencer, you probably have the same problem as me, which is PR people and marketing people subscribing you to newsletters that you have no interest in. So every single week I spend a good 15 to 30 minutes just unsubscribing myself from mailing lists that people have subscribed me to that I have zero interest in. Like, great, but I don't want to know about your events in Los Angeles when I live in Brussels, in Belgium, and I'm not traveling there. And I get these kind of emails all the time, and that drives me crazy because it just fills up my inbox with things that I don't need and I don't want. My next tip is to, again, organize everything into folders, within folders, within folders. That is the key to get organized. At least it is for me. So I get my blog and personal emails all onto Gmail. I have a separate account for natural company stuff just because I didn't want everything in the same mailbox, but that's a personal preference. I love using Gmail because it's so easy. I know that you can get tabs that separates your email at the top. I've tried that for a while, but it doesn't work for me. But if it does for you, great. Take full advantage of that because it is a great feature. But the way I use my inbox, I just have stuff separated between my company, my personal life, my work life, my blog life, etc. And then within those folders, I will have other folders. So if you go into my blog folders, for example, I will have press strips, and then I will have press release that I want to get to. I would have invitation for stuff. I will have collaborations that I'm doing. So everything is separated into folders, and then but into these folders everything is separated again, just because whenever I need to find an email, I can just go into that folder and find exactly what I'm looking for. It is the key to staying organized. The next tip is to add labels. I'm not sure whether you can do that in all email inboxes, but you can do that on Gmail. You can add a certain label to a certain sender. So for example, my mom has a certain color and a label, my husband has a certain color and a label, so there's my accountant, and all of those recurrent senders that I have, so that when I connect into my inbox, these emails pop up really well because they have a certain color and they have a certain name attached to them, and it's super easy to clean everything into folders afterwards, because for example, nowadays I have a lot of emails from my husband. We exchange a lot of information between emails, so I can quickly check all the boxes with the label and put that into a special folder. So it is a great quick way to get organized. It is a little bit tedious to do the first time to set everything up, but once it's in place, it's gonna change your life. And my last tip is to delete unnecessary emails. So if you have travel confirmation from 10 years ago, if you have an email about that dinner you did with friends 2 weeks ago, if you have a notification from LinkedIn from a month ago, you don't need those emails anymore, so delete them and remember to empty your bin at the end of the day, because that's gonna free up so much space in your emails. Now moving on to your phone, and I have a lot to say about my phone because I live with my phone. I do a lot of things on my phone. It's always with me, no matter if I'm working out, if I'm going grocery shopping, if I'm working, if I'm on the go, if I'm traveling, I always have my phone on it, and I have a ton of things in it. The first thing to do is to clean up your contacts. So I went through my contacts. I deleted, the doctor that I had back in Paris. I don't need that anymore. I deleted those old contacts for people that I don't see anymore. I just went through and I updated my contact as well, because I'm the kind of person that would be at the other end of the world wanting to send you a postcard, and I will know where you live. I know exactly the street name, but I don't have the correct number or the correct postbox number. So I updated all the contact information for people that I love and that I want to get in touch and send Christmas cards or postcards to. That really helps me a lot. Also, a great thing is that go through your photos, your video and your screenshots, because if you're like me, I screenshot about 12 things a day, whether it's an address, it's something that I want to get back to, and I just take a lot of screenshots. So what I do is that I download everything onto my computer, on my photos, on my videos, and then I erase, that weird WhatsApp photo that you got from a friend, and then that screenshot that you took of an address, and all those kind of things, I just delete them, and then I empty the bin, because you always want to remember to empty the bin, because otherwise it doesn't free up as much space as it should. So it's something that I do regularly, and sometimes it reminds me to have a look at certain things. So it's a great idea, so that whenever you launch your photo apps, you only have things that you love and that you want to have a look at. And the last thing is really life-changing. Change your notification settings, because up to 2 weeks ago, I would have Pokemon Go alerting me whenever there was a raid battle near me. And I love playing Pokemon Go, but I certainly don't play every day, and I'm not that dedicated of a player to go out whenever something is happening and a new Pokemon is around or something like that. So I went through all my notification settings and I just changed things up. I used to have the kind of person that would have a ping whenever a new email was in, and I would have the short thing on my screen with a summary of the email. I don't do that anymore, because I would be super productive and then I would hear an email coming in and I would check it. and stop being productive. So now I just have, you know, the little red dot with the number on my emails app, and it works perfectly. And I went through all the notifications because sometimes I don't need reminders for everything, and I hate, you know, picking up my phone and having like 6,000 notifications to go through before I can do what I wanted to do. So I've changed that, and it really helps me a lot. Finally, let's go to social media, because chances are if you're watching this video you have some sort of social media account on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, you name it, you probably have an account on it. So what I did is that I unfriended people that I didn't care about anymore, and I stopped following people that were not inspiring me, that were not positive, that didn't have a positive impact on my life. Because at the end of the day, you want to go through social media to feel inspired, to feel motivated, to you know, feel a bit better, and not just scrolling, seeing so many ads and people that you don't care about and people that are really negative, and it has made a huge difference for me. Another thing that I did is that I cleaned up my watch later page on YouTube. If you're like me, you probably click that little clock icon way too much, and I had about 250 video on my watch later page. So what I did is that first I went onto YouTube on a desktop computer, and I selected, you have a little option to delete all the ones that you have watched. So that cleared up about half of them, and then I just deleted the ones that I have no interest in. Sometimes I would have added videos like 4 years ago into my watch page and never got around to watching them, and they don't interest me anymore because we constantly grow and evolve and change. And I just did that. I watched all the ones that I was interested in, deleted those, and now I think I have like 3 videos on my watch later page, which is so inspiring because whenever I want to watch something but I don't want to browse through everything, I just click on that and I have fresh content that I'm really interested in. Another thing that I did was organizing my browser bookmarks. I use Google Chrome, and I had a ton of things that I didn't need. For example, I had a whole folder with Japan stuff like hotels, activities, restaurants. I deleted that because we went to Japan and I don't think we'll go back really soon, and I have all that information somewhere else. I shared it on my blog, and I wrote down things in my journals and in my photo album, so I don't need that stuff on my browser anymore. So I just did that, and if I wanted to save something for later, I usually save it on Pinterest anyway. So I got rid of all the bookmarks that I wasn't using, sites that I'm not reading anymore, all of that. And then I did a good cleanup of my extensions, because if you use Google Chrome, you probably have a few extensions. Like I have one for my passwords, I have one with coupon codes, I have one that corrects spelling mistakes. I went through all my extensions and I got rid of about half of them that I wasn't using, that were not working properly, were not working anymore, or that I simply didn't use anymore. And that felt amazing. So that's it for today's video. I really hope that it inspired you to declutter your digital life. I feel like we tend to declutter our closets, our bathroom, our kitchens, but our digital life is such a big part of our life that it's really important to declutter that as well. So I hope it really inspired you and maybe motivated you to go through your digital space. And again, I will have a few videos on the same topic linked down below in case you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.